Many elements of traditional Japanese culture, such as cuisine and martial arts, are well known throughout the world. Kabuki, a form of classical theater performance, may not be as well understood in the West, but has evolved over 400 years to still maintain influence and popularity to this day. The word kabuki is derived from the Japanese verb kabuku, meaning out of the ordinary or bizarre. Its history began in early 17th century Kyoto, where a shrine maiden named Izumo no Okuni would use the city's dry Kamo riverbed as a stage to perform unusual dances for passerby, who found her daring parodies of Buddhist prayers both entertaining and mesmerizing. Soon other troupes began performing in the same style, and kabuki made history as Japan's first dramatic performance form catering to the common people. By relying on makeup, or kesho, and facial expressions instead of masks, and focusing on historical events and everyday life rather than folk tales, kabuki set itself apart from the upper-class dance theater form known as no, and provided a unique commentary on society during the Edo period. At first, the dance was practiced only by females, and commonly referred to as onakabuki. It soon evolved to an ensemble performance, and became a regular attraction at tea houses, drawing audiences from all social classes. At this point, onakabuki was often risque, as geishas performed not only to show off their singing and dancing abilities, but also to advertise their bodies to potential clients. A ban by the conservative Tokugawa shogunate in 1629 led to the emergence of wakashu kabuki, with young boys as actors. But when this was also banned, for similar reasons, there was a transition to yaro kabuki, performed by men, necessitating elaborate costumes and makeup for those playing female roles, or onagata. Attempts by the government to control kabuki didn't end with bans on the gender or age of performers. The Tokugawa military group, or bakufu, was fueled by Confucian ideals and often enacted sanctions on costume fabrics, stage weaponry, and the subject matter of the plot. At the same time, kabuki became closely associated with and influenced by bunraku, an elaborate form of puppet theater. Due to these influences, the once spontaneous one-act dance evolved into a structured 5-act play, often based on the tenets of Confucian philosophy. Before 1868, when the Tokugawa shogunate fell and Emperor Meiji was restored to power, Japan had practiced isolation from other countries, or sakoku, and thus the development of kabuki had mostly been shaped by domestic influences. But even before this period, European artists, such as Claude Monet, had become interested in and inspired by Japanese art, such as woodblock prints, as well as live performance. After 1868, others, such as Vincent van Gogh and composer Claude Debussy, began to incorporate kabuki influences in their work, while kabuki itself underwent much change and experimentation to adapt to the new modern era. Like other traditional art forms, kabuki suffered in popularity in the wake of World War II, but innovation by artists such as director Tetsuji Takechi led to a resurgence shortly after. Indeed, kabuki was even considered a popular form of entertainment amongst American troops stationed in Japan, despite initial U.S. censorship of Japanese traditions. Today, kabuki still lives on as an integral part of Japan's rich cultural heritage, extending its influence beyond the stage to television, film, and anime. The art form pioneered by Okuni continues to delight audiences with the actors' elaborate makeup, extravagant and delicately embroidered costumes, and the unmistakable melodrama of the stories told on stage.
What is Peking opera? Peking opera is a classic form of Chinese performance art, which combines the music of Chinese instruments, singing, miming, dancing, and history. Peking opera arose in the late 18th century, and by the 19th century, the art form was popular throughout the country. Today, it is regarded as one of China's cultural treasures. There are 4 main characters in Peking opera. This mask represents the character Sheng. In addition, there are also 3 other major roles: Dan, Jing, and Chou. Each character has a different age, gender, and social status. Sheng is the main male role in Peking opera. Dan is a female character. However, interestingly, young male performers actually played this role as women were prohibited from acting until 1912. In Mandarin, Jing means clean. The face paint does not make the character appear clean, so the word Jing is used in the contradictory sense. Chou means ugly. The actors who play the Chou roles, although they may not necessarily be unattractive physically, have a white dot drawn on the noses. This feature means they are supposed to be ugly. The masks in Peking opera represent the different characteristics of the personas on stage. As red is traditionally a positive color in Chinese culture, the culture signifies prosperity, intelligence, and bravery. Purple masks suggest justice and sophistication. Although black is depicted as a negative color in Western culture, the black mask is regarded as neutral, whereas the green masks and the yellow masks represent the bad characteristics. The green mask implies violence and the yellow cruelty. Similarly, although Westerners traditionally see white as a symbol of purity, the white mask actually stands for evil. The Peking opera actors have to train from early childhood, as they need to master almost all the performing arts like singing, dancing, and acting. Similarly, without perfect martial arts skills, it would be very difficult for an individual to become a Peking opera professional. There are very strict rules actors must follow. During the 19th century, young pupils often lived in special schools teaching Peking opera. As the school provided all food and accommodation, the students were indebted to the trainers, whom they would repay once they made it as performers. Daily life was exhausting and brutal. It was not uncommon for classes to run from 5 a.m. until the evening. Peking opera is a virtual art, and therefore not as straightforward as films and plays. For example, the stage is meant to represent a totally different reality. So if an actor walks in circles on the stage, it could symbolize that he or she has walked miles and miles. Similarly, the actors use a whip to hit an imaginary horse to pretend that they are galloping across the land. Basically, this is Peking opera.